The day began like any other broadcast, yet an unspoken weight hung in the air. The lights glowed, the audience murmured, and familiar routines unfolded, but something beneath the surface felt altered. Kelly Ripa and Mark Consuelos took their seats as they always did, smiling with practiced ease, though their expressions carried a quiet heaviness. It was the kind of moment viewers could sense without fully understanding. Nothing had been said, yet everything felt poised on the edge of revelation. This was not about entertainment or headlines. It was about a human moment unfolding in real time, where two people who had spent their lives sharing laughter were preparing to share something far more vulnerable. The studio became more than a set. It became a space where truth was about to step forward, unfiltered and deeply personal. A silence that spoke louder than words. When Kelly paused mid-sentence, the silence filled the room with a powerful stillness. It was not awkward or empty, but heavy with meaning. Her voice faltered, and in that brief pause, the audience felt the shift from routine television to raw reality. Mark's instinctive reach for her hand said everything words could not. It was a quiet gesture of reassurance, love, and shared courage. Kelly's composure, usually unshakable, gave way to emotion, revealing a depth rarely seen on screen. This silence became a bridge between the hosts and the audience, dissolving the distance that often exists in televised moments. It reminded everyone watching that even those who appear strong and polished carry unseen burdens. In that pause, vulnerability took center stage, and it was impossible not to feel its impact. Breaking the image of perfection. For years, Kelly had been known for her humor, energy, and resilience. She was the person who kept things moving, who laughed easily and carried others through emotional moments. This time, she allowed herself to break. That choice transformed the moment. It showed that strength does not always mean holding everything together. Sometimes it means letting go. Mark's presence beside her added to the authenticity, his calm demeanor contrasting with the emotion but never overshadowing it. Together, they dismantled the illusion of perfection that often surrounds public figures. What viewers saw was not a performance, but a real couple facing uncertainty. The honesty in that moment resonated deeply because it reflected something universal. Everyone has faced a moment when control slips away, when emotions surface unexpectedly, and when being human matters more than appearing strong. Sharing a weight. Too heavy to carry alone. As Kelly spoke about the heaviness of what their family was facing, her words carried the exhaustion of quiet nights and unspoken fears. This was not a dramatic reveal designed for attention. It was a confession born of emotional strain. Mark's steady presence anchored the moment, reminding viewers that partnership often means standing firm while the other falters. Their decision to speak openly was rooted in connection rather than explanation. They were not offering details or seeking sympathy. They were acknowledging that life sometimes shifts without warning. By sharing this weight, they allowed others to recognize their own fears reflected back at them. The studio audience did not react with shock or noise, but with attentive silence, understanding that this was a moment of trust being extended outward. Fear behind closed doors. Away from the cameras, the fear became more personal and more consuming. Kelly described nights filled with watching, waiting, and hoping, moments where the quiet felt louder than any sound. These were the private hours when uncertainty settled in, when the mind replayed every possibility. Mark, too, carried his own fears, though he chose to project calm. Their shared experience revealed how couples often protect each other by hiding their deepest worries. Yet even in that fear, there was tenderness. Watching someone you love breathe in the dark is an act of devotion shaped by anxiety and hope. By sharing this, they gave voice to countless others who endure similar nights in silence, reminding them that their fears are seen and understood. Maintaining normalcy for family. Despite the emotional storm, Kelly and Mark worked to preserve a sense of normal life for their children. Meals were shared with laughter, routines continued, and smiles were worn like armor. This effort was not about denial, but about love. It showed the instinct parents have to shield their family from worry, even when their own hearts feel heavy. Yet the contrast between public normalcy and private emotion eventually became overwhelming. Kelly's tears on set reflected the exhaustion of holding everything in. The audience's quiet support acknowledged this struggle without judgment. It was a reminder that maintaining strength for others often comes at a personal cost, and that allowing oneself to be vulnerable can be an act of care rather than weakness. The quiet strength of partnership. When Mark spoke, his words carried the weight of a partner who had witnessed fear up close. He admitted that seeing Kelly afraid affected him deeply, revealing that strength is often tested in unexpected ways. His role shifted from co-host to protector, from partner in humor to partner in uncertainty. Their exchange showed how love adapts during difficult times. Strength became less about optimism and more about presence. Holding space for another person's fear requires patience and humility. In that moment, their relationship was not idealized or romanticized. It was real, grounded in shared experience and mutual support. Viewers saw a partnership defined not by perfection, but by commitment and empathy, choosing honesty over silence. Kelly explained their decision to speak openly as a way to break the loneliness that often accompanies fear. Silence, she acknowledged, can isolate people at the very moment they need connection most. By sharing their experience, they reach beyond the studio to anyone facing uncertainty. Mark's reflection on love showing up without guarantees captured the essence of the moment. Life offers no promises, yet love persists. Their honesty was not about answers, but about solidarity. It invited viewers to feel less alone in their own struggles. This choice transformed a personal challenge into a shared human experience, where empathy replaced distance and understanding replaced curiosity. A wave of collective response. The reaction was immediate and overwhelming. Messages poured in from people who felt seen and understood through Kelly's tears and Mark's steadiness. Social platforms filled with expressions of gratitude and shared stories of fear and resilience. What stood out was not celebrity interest, but genuine connection. Viewers recognized themselves in the moment, finding comfort in knowing that vulnerability could exist in such a public space. The response affirmed that honesty resonates more deeply than polish. It also showed the ripple effect of openness, how one moment of truth can encourage countless others to acknowledge their own emotions. The studio moment extended far beyond the broadcast, becoming a shared emotional touchstone. A home forever changed. That evening, the couple returned home to familiar surroundings that now felt altered. The same walls and routines took on new significance, infused with awareness of how fragile and precious ordinary moments can be. Conversation slowed, laughter lingered, and silence became something to be shared rather than avoided. Kelly noticed details she might once have overlooked, gestures and glances that carried renewed meaning. This shift was subtle but profound. It marked a transition from moving through life on autopilot to being fully present. The experience reshaped how they valued time together, turning everyday moments into something worth savoring. Facing fear in the quiet hours. In the stillness of the night, Kelly finally voiced the question that had been weighing on her. Mark's response revealed a deeper understanding of fear, not as dread of outcomes, but as awareness of time slipping by unnoticed. His honesty reframed the conversation, shifting focus from what might happen to how life is lived now. Their hands meeting in the dark symbolized a shared commitment to presence. This exchange captured the essence of their journey, moving from anxiety toward intention. It was a reminder that fear can become a catalyst for a deeper connection when faced together. The enduring impact of vulnerability. The moment Kelly and Mark shared left a lasting impression because it was rooted in authenticity. It reminded viewers that vulnerability is not a flaw, but a bridge to understanding. By allowing themselves to be seen without armor, they created space for others to do the same. Their story did not offer resolutions or certainty, but it offered something more enduring. It offered permission to feel, to connect, and to show up honestly. In a world often driven by appearances, their openness stood as a quiet testament to the power of shared humanity and the strength found in love that faces uncertainty together.